Well, there's my floor. Anybody want a floor? Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome back to the Altered YJ project. So, just like everything on this project so far, it has escalated a bit. And yeah, currently, I have no floor at all. This video is going to be about why I have no floor and what I'm going to do to remedy having no floor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys why I did this, talk about a few things, and we'll just jump back into the project. So here we go. I pulled the wheels and tires off, and I have the frame pretty much as low as I can get it. So the frame's sitting on 4 jack stands, and then the body is sitting a bit higher on 4 jack stands. I have 2 towards the front, and I have 2 towards the rear back there. And the reason I did that was just to get the body spaced off the frame a little bit, so I have more room to work. But I also wanted the body above the frame and not sitting back where I had it, because I want to see where, for example, like where the transmission and the transfer case sit, where the frame rails sit, where the body mounts sit. So I wanted the frame under the body, but I also wanted the body up higher. So since I don't have a 2-post lift, I just have some jack stands, different heights, and it's the best I can do. So that's where we're sitting here, and there's the floor I cut out. Yeah, that's where I clearanced for the Atlas before, thinking it was going to be good, but nope. I decided to cut the entire thing out and just go from there. Now, the reason why I did this, I just really wanted to kind of start fresh because there's some issues with this. I mean, that right there, that's just that doesn't matter, but that's a big patch that someone did before I owned it. The big issues, as you see all the sand fall out, but right there, that's a body mount that was very roughly repaired. Same with that one. Those captured nuts inside those enclosed areas rusted and broke, and it was just a pain in the butt. So when I first got the Jeep, and before I really knew what I was doing, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I crudely patched that so it worked, but I wasn't happy with it. So I was going to have to replace those sections anyway. And as you can see, there's like parts of the floor were just rusty. It just wasn't the best base to work off of, so I figured, why not just make my own new floor and go from there. The other reason why the floor doesn't really matter to me is, on the factory YJ seats, they bolted to the floor. Well, I'm doing a custom cage, and I actually have my seats on order. I just ordered some new seats, so they should be here in about a month. And yeah, I'm going to mount the seats and everything to the roll cage, so I don't need the floor. The floor is really only just to protect the inside from the outside. So there's going to be no structure, nothing supported by the floor. It's literally just there. Unlike before, the factory, where it supported the seats, it had seat belts, stuff. So we're gonna get into here. So right now there's like zero structure here, so I have to be very careful with moving this body because it's only connected by like those 2 areas there, so it's very weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretty much create like a skeleton. You take some square stock steel and make a skeleton for the floor, and then pretty much just plate it with steel and build around the transfer case and transmission. And with that skeleton, I'm going to be able to have plates so I can do a nut and a washer instead of using a captured nut for the body mounts. So that way water won't get trapped and rust a captured nut. And hopefully I'll be able to get to it a little bit easier. I don't know. It's going to all be in the design. I really don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just kind of going with what I think is right, which is pretty much this whole project. A lot of this project is I don't really have a plan. I just work and let the project guide me along, and I get somewhere and this happens. So that's what's going on. So there's still a lip all the way along. So I got to clean this up. It was just easier to get the majority of it out of the way, and then I can come back and fine tune these edges. I don't have the metal yet to create the skeleton. So tomorrow my plan is to go to High Tech Metals, get some square stock, and that way I can start building. So from now until then, I'm going to work on cleaning up these rough cut edges and just kind of cleaning up and figuring out exactly how I want to run these, run the metal for the skeleton. Then we'll continue from there. So I will see you guys once we get back from High Tech Metals. Bye. Oh, hey, I'm back. So I got all the metal I need to start framing this floor, and I got everything cleaned up. So let me show you guys how I cleaned it up here. We got, as you can see, all the old floor that was sticking out is gone, and it's bare metal with a couple spots I still got to hit. Found a soft spot, blew through that, so that was fun. As you can see there, right there. So that's the old floor with this part, so I'm going to tack that in before I get to framing it. I chopped out this area because drive shaft clearance. Still, I have an idea for this area, still working that, and then over here on this side, there's some feet, and yeah. So all clean metal to weld to, tack to, and start building off of. So as for what I'm using to make the frame, this is 3/4 inch square stock, and it is 16th wall. So I ended up getting 3 sticks of it from High Tech Metals, and a stick for them is 24 feet. So 3 times 24 is what, 72? So I have 72 feet of it, and then I had them, they were kind enough to chop it down into 12-foot lengths. That way it was easier to transport. And the other option I had, because I knew I wanted to do 3/4 square, so they had 16th wall or 1/8 inch wall. And off the bat, I was like, oh, 1/8 inch wall because, you know, thicker, stronger. And then I started thinking about it. Well, this isn't going to support a lot of weight. It's just more for structure. And 16th wall is much lighter. So I'm trying to keep the weight down on this build. So I ended up going that way. Also, the 1/8 inch wall was double the price. That was a big factor as well. It came out to like 62 cents a foot for the 16th wall. And so 72 feet, I think I paid like $47 and some change for 72 feet. So not bad at all. And now I have plenty of metal to just work. And then if I need extra strength, I can cut pieces and add little gussets in the corners. I'm torn between, since I'm doing this much of the floor, the factory floor, I'm torn between just doing the entire inside of the tub. I know it's a lot more work and I know it's going to cost me more money, but I don't know. So, but the one thing I think I'm going to do, so I was planning on running a piece behind this to add structure across, and I was going to follow this shape, come up, you know, and then I started thinking this cutout in the floor right here was for the passenger. You know, if you had passengers, that was for their feet. Room. I'm never going to have passengers again because my fuel cell is going to sit right here. So I don't need this little cutout. So I think I'm just going to remove this, pretty much remove all that, frame straight across, and then replate that once I get the sheet steel to make the new floor. So I'm going to start with that today because I just decided on doing that. So I'm going to cut that. The rest of this out first, and then we'll get into adding this in. Be right back. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have questions about roll cage. So the factory roll cage bolts right here, and then it also bolted down onto the floor. But if you look behind, that's literally all the metal that's there to hold in your cage. So it's not very strong. For my cage, I plan on doing sandwich plates. So we're talking like 3/16, so 1/4 inch steel on one side and another equal size piece on the other side, sandwiching the sheet metal of the body. So down here, I'm going to have a plate, and it's going to bolt through. And then on the back side of the plate, it's actually going to tie into my frame. So I plan on doing cage tie-ins at the A, the B, and the C pillars. So that's where my head's at, and I hope that made sense. Now, since I just cut that, I got to clean up these edges now, and then I'm going to start putting the pieces in, and then hopefully you guys will get a better idea. Well, I finally got my first piece cut. You can see I just have it clamped in right now, but it runs, piece runs under this, all the way along the tub, and then under the floor pan. And then up the front here, I'll show you. It's hard to see it here, but I have it kind of resting on the lip of this bracket, and then that bracket's what has the front body mount. Since I'm leaving that, I still have to weld this back together to the floor pan. I have the new tube resting, wish I would focus, on that lip there, and then running along the body. I gotta clean up a little bit before I start tacking. It's gonna run all the way along there and comes there. Now that piece of floor is very rough, so I gotta kind of hammer that, or maybe get another piece of metal in there. This side's definitely rougher than the passenger side. Get it tacked in, and then by the time it's all said and done, this is going to be, the whole thing's going to be seam sealed. Hi, Lena. It's all going to be seam sealed, tacked and welded to the body, and then the whole structure is going to be welded together. What? So I got this side, that side, and then we'll start working the middle pieces. I'll set you guys up to watch me kind of figure this out. I mean, it's going kind of how I have it pictured in my head. A few things are a little different because I didn't measure prior, so now I'm measuring and seeing some differences between the passenger and driver side, but I'm compensating for it. I have 2 center crossbars here. You guys saw me put in these 2 bars. And then in the back here, let's kind of give it a little bit more up close of how I kind of started boxing this in and welding to that beefier part of the frame. And then the long piece that goes, then this long piece down here that goes along the tub and all the way across there. So I ran a solid bar for now, and then if I have to, for this lower one, and then once I get the tub actually sitting on the frame, then I'll determine if I need to clearance it more for the drive shaft, so then I can just cut wherever I need to cut it out, and then I'll brace it kind of like this, top and bottom. Just to give an idea of measurements, so from this bar to this bar on the passenger side was 12 1/4. And me thinking, you know, they're the same, passenger and driver, but the driver's side from that bar to that bar turned out to be 13 9/16. Now, how I got that was using some existing structure. You can see I have that tube come straight to the inside here, and I'm going to run a piece of tube all the way up and weld it, so that way the strength of the floor gets carried all the way up to the firewall. And then if you can see back there, here's the driver's side. Again, right on the inside of this structure, which is where the front body mount is, and I'm going to weld it all the way up to the firewall. That way the structure is, you know, fully supported from front to the back of the tub. Not really paying attention to it, and now after measuring I noticed, if you look, that floor pan is definitely wider than that floor pan. So I thought they were the same. They are not. So that's why my measurements are like an inch plus difference, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't need to be the same as long as everything fits. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm just gonna keep plugging away. In my head, the next step is I got to do the bars that go up along that support on both sides, and then I have my body mount areas, so I need to do crossbars from here to here on each side of the body mount, because then I can plate it to have something to bolt the body to. Now, I do have new frame side body mounts on order. They're not here yet, and when I get those new ones, I can kind of weld them up higher if I need to give myself, like, I don't know, 1/4 to a 1/2 inch more clearance off the frame. So that'll help. But for now, that's how it's coming. Starting to look a little bit, not really like a floor, but well, might as well. Good morning. Got my coffee. It's raining today. So, last night, my buddy Alex came by, and we were just talking and looking at the progress. And as you saw in that last clip, yeah, we cut out the back of the floor there. So as he referred to this project now, it's just Project Snowball, because it snowballs into me doing more work. But I think it's going to turn out awesome. I was looking at it the whole time I was working on the front of the floor, and I figured if I'm replacing 3/4 of the floor, I might as well just finish it off and do the whole freaking thing. So that's where we're at, and that's what we're doing. So as you can see here, I have the bottom of the tub off. I still got to do the wheel wells, but I kind of left them there just for now, just to help me get my framing started, so a reference point. You can see up there, I got a good bit of the framing done. There's a lot of the time lapse that showed it, but I can show it up close here. So just started framing it out. As you can see, there, here, and here. I'll be able to plate it and line it up with the body mount. Now I did just kind of test fit my sliders and put it on. And I totally forgot that the very corner of the slider, it kind of went this way on the body. So there's more of the body that had to be trimmed. And with that, I had to also kind of trim my new piece that I put in. So I got to clean that up, but I'll plate that and fix that. But it's the same for both sides. I kind of had to come in and cut. I'm going to start framing out this whole rear. Get the rest of the wheel wells and tub cut out of it, or what's left of the tub. So yeah, where we're at with this is it's a lot of work, very time consuming. It's hard for me to just show every little aspect. And if I do that, it's going to make this video extremely long. So what we're going to do is just a lot of time lapse. A lot of just kind of showing me build this. When I get to a point where I think I need to kind of show a little bit more detail, I'll stop, show you guys. But I'm going to keep working away at it. I want to thank you guys for joining me, being here, keeping me company, because I'm working by myself like always. So it's nice to have you guys here to spend time with. Yeah, pretty much have nothing left of a Jeep at all. That is kind of scary. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was stupid and I cut way too far in. So I had to stitch that back together, but now that side kind of drooped. So yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like angled down. That's not good, but I'm hoping I can get the corner armor back on it and that will help bring it back to its shape, I hope. If not, when I start framing out the wheel well, I'm gonna have a hell of a time getting that side back. The only two extra pieces I added in for the skeleton was these two crossbars. So that one there, and then the bar that goes across the top of that boxed in area. That way, you know, that kept the tail from wanting to do this. And I put those in before I cut the wheel wells out. That way I could get it aligned. So far I'm pretty happy with the progress, other than me screwing that corner up, but hopefully I can fix it. But now I'm gonna get the corner armor on, straighten that corner up, and start framing the wheel wells. Quick update for you guys. I added in a piece all the way across there, across the top and down. And as you can see, I got the corner armor on. Also, you probably noticed I have a ratchet strap there and the tailgate, obviously. Even though I'm not gonna use this gate, at least I can use it to make sure I got my spacing correct, because, you know, in that last clip I talked about how that corner drooped. Putting the corner armor on did help bring it up a bit, but I put the gate on to see, and as you can see here, there's a little bit wider of a gap up here than down here. So there's definitely something going on. So what I did was, or what I'm about to do, I got a ratchet strap here, hook to the corner armor on that side, hook to that side, and hopefully as I ratchet it, it'll bring those two corners together, and then I'll leave it as I build the rest. And hopefully that will be good. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Sammy. How you doing, old girl? Plugging away at it little by little. Got the wheel wells shaped out. The ratchet strap did help. This corner's a little closer. When I built all that, I left the strap on. And then when I let the ratchet strap out, it opened up a bit, but I think that'll work because I'm going to be making a custom gate and I can just make it to those dimensions. So I have everything in, again, only tacked. I got that wheel well shaped up, this wheel well shaped up, again, with the metal going all the way around the outer edge of the tub. And you can see how much higher my wheel wells are going to be. This bar, this center section will get cut out, but I just left it there for now just for rigidity. As I finish making everything, I still have to frame out the bottom of the floor area back here in the cargo space. But I don't want to do that just yet because I still need to work on my body mounts up on the front and back here. And I have a plan for that. And it's just going to be better once the body's sitting down on the frame again for me to finish this out. So I'll leave that part in for structure. That way I can move the body up and down without things working or breaking tacks. But I think I'm going to break this floor process into a multi-part little series because I think some of you guys are interested in this or just kind of want to really see all the steps and how this process turns out. So I think that'll be the more efficient way is to do multi-videos. I think for that, I'm going to end this video here and then start the next video working on the body mounts and starting to figure out how I'm going to get everything attached back to the frame into the body. That's a good spot. Good spot to stop. And then I keep saying body mounts, and I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. When I say replacing body mounts, I have these awesome swag off-road replacement body mounts. As you can see, way thicker and beefier than the factory mounts. I'm going to be installing these, but I have a whole process in my head that I think is going to work best for that. If you want to see that process, make sure to stay tuned for part 2 of this floor install where we jump into that. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it kind of gave you maybe some guys some ideas on how to do this for yourself, or you're just calling me crazy because I cut the entire inside of my Jeep out and I just have the outside of the tub as a shell. Either way, I think it's going to turn out good. But thank you guys for watching. Again, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And leave me some comments below on what you guys think about my idea to do this. I will see you guys in part 2. Have a good one.